Join us at the Grand Butterfly Gathering happening on June 28 in downtown Jackson, Wyoming, as we attempt to set the world record for the largest gathering of people dressed as butterflies. This global event celebrates our connection with nature and unity. Be part of the fun. Join us either in person or virtually. For those attending in Jackson, each person aged 21 and over will receive a coupon for a luxurious 5-day, 6-night, all-inclusive stay at resorts in Mexico and the Caribbean. Visit butterflymarch.com to register and learn more. Don't miss this unforgettable event.
Hello, everyone. It's Teresa Lawrence, President and Executive Director of the Trueness Project. Welcome to our weekly Flutterverse update. Today, we are so blessed. We have special guests, and we have an update from our esteemed co-host, Emmanuel Sananka in Kenya. But first, I want to share with you what happened last week. It was magical and mystical and mysterious. I woke up early, and I know I shared last week, but I was feeling a little wounded last week, I must say, because it had just happened. And I start getting messages, has your Instagram been hacked? Has this been hacked? Has that been hacked? And it's true. Everything was hacked. Everything was taken. And I shared last week, I was shaking like I went back into my wounded little girl. And then I sat down and I prayed, and I shared with you last week, as I'm sharing now, I am not my social media. Social media is a tool. It is not who I am. And for those of you watching, if you have those things taken away, you can either recreate them or be blessed as I was to have beautiful people help you get them back. There are fabulous people out there that do this type of work, and I feel so blessed that they all found me and protected me and got all of my social media back, because I use it to share love and joy and activities with you that will be uplifting. So that is my update. And last week I also shared some of our projects got funded. So we're bringing books to Kenya and around the world, and I'm going to have the funds to do that. And that's magical and beautiful, and I'm deeply grateful for that. So with that, that's my update. So many things are happening here in Jackson. We're getting prepared. And that's all I got. So with that, I'm going to invite our esteemed co-host, Emmanuel Sananka, up here to our stage. Hello, Emmanuel. How are you today?
Hello, I'm fine, thank you. Doing well, and I'm so grateful to be part of this webinar today.
So I gave Emmanuel an assignment for this week's webinar. And where is my alchemist? My alchemist, here it is. The Alchemist is a joyous book. It is in our training program. And the reason I asked him to look at The Alchemist again is that in the story of The Alchemist, the protagonist goes through all of these things. And last week, I felt like I was going through some stuff. Everything was taken, just like the money was taken from the protagonist. And he had to learn, sometimes you have to keep your things safe. And I learned that. I am now keeping my social media safe. So I asked Emmanuel to give us an update and to share some insights from The Alchemist. So I leave the stage to our esteemed co-host, Emmanuel Sananka.
Wow. That's so unfortunate that we lost your social media accounts, but I'm so glad that we managed to recover, and from the assignment, that is, and from what you say today, I took my time to also go through The Alchemist a little bit and prepare some notes, that very brief notes on the importance of reflection as a person, and how important it is to an individual. So about reflection, it's all about it will help us to also discover our purpose and to come to ourselves and restructure and move forward towards our personal legend. So The Alchemist is all about Santiago, who was a young boy from Spain who wanted to go to the pyramids at Egypt to find his treasure. And along the way he meets mentors, and I always compare Santiago with myself, because it's more or less of who I'm becoming, and the universe conspiring and make me meet Teresa, who has been so much instrumental to my life and who have been so much close to me. And who I am today is a result of meeting her. So San Diego also got a chance to meet these mentors like Melchizedek, and as well the Englishman, and he had this opportunity to also meet the alchemist. And about Santiago, he learns that true treasure lies within himself. So he has been looking for whatever he has been carrying himself. So important that the destination reflection, when we strive to become better than we are, everything around us becomes better too. So, from my little notes, I concluded to say this, that reflection helps us to stay grounded, choose purpose over pressure, and of course, again, grow through every challenge. So, that's what reflection help us to do. So, my final thoughts from the alchemist is that the alchemist is a mirror. It doesn't just tell us the story, it awakens something within us. And again, the power of reflection is that it connects us back to ourselves, our values, our goals, and our deeper truth. And as young people, that is one thing I can say to every young person who is following us live, that when we reflect, we grow, and when we grow, we are able to lead. So
That
that's
is
one thing.
beautiful. That's beautiful, Emmanuel. You were buffering. That's why I came back on, but then the feed came back in. To everyone watching, we strongly recommend The Alchemist. It is one of our key books. It is required. Hey, look, Kat is also joining us. How exciting! Now we have everyone. So, Emmanuel, thank you for that recap of The Alchemist. And now I'm going to move you off screen because we have a special guest joining us, and we are truly blessed. You can tell that the universe is conspiring to help us because
Yeah.
our next guest is our spiritual mentor and is going to be our guide during the butterfly event. So let me remove Emmanuel. Uh, Everyone, I just have to say that we are so blessed today to have our next guest. Ukwala on his website says that he is a voice of the ancestors and a guide to all those presently living on this earth. He is a guide on our earth walk. I have to tell you, I met Ukwala in Sedona. I fell in love with him the moment I met him. I asked him, I never thought he'd say yes, and yet he did. He was wearing this beautiful headdress. He looked it was so beautiful. I have no words to describe what this man looked like, but he was in the presence of his ceremony. And I said, he must do this retreat for me. And I went up and I asked him, and he said yes. And I was like, I was in such awe. And what happened thereafter were such blessings upon blessings upon blessings. And with that, I bring Aquala onto our stage and ask him to share. Um, Ukwala, thank you. First, thank you for being here. Thank you for being you. Thank you for doing our retreat in December, which was so magical. I'm going to leave the floor to you to describe to everybody what you've done since then. Ukwala has been all over the world. It's magical. And what you're bringing to Jackson in June for us. So, with that, everyone, this is Ukwala.
It is a magical moment, and I really do want for you to really embrace this beautiful transmission that we're having with pixels through cyberspace. Now, there are tools in these times now that we do have to use. As much as we would love to be just one on one right in front of each other physically, it is not always feasible. So we have to learn how to utilize the tools of the contemporary. However, as we do use them, we have that ability to have a moment of transmission just like this that allows for us to really feel it in depth of the body temple, the body being. And I do want to share so much with you, and with the hopes that it brings an awakening within you to understand that those messages that are coming in as channelings are directed to all that are the relations, the brothers, the sisters, all those that are in the inhabitants of this, the Mother Earth. My name is Ukwala, and I am of a tribe that is birthed in the bottom of the Grand Canyon. We are not a large tribe. We number all of 360 plus tribal individuals. With that, we are also known by the tribes of the Southwest as the guardians of the Grand Canyon. Our connections within the depths of this sacred spiritual altar allows for that imbuement, that vibration to come in from the moment that we're birthed to the connections to divine source in a very cosmic way. However, we must realize that we are living as a embodiment of spirit on a physical plane. So that allows for us to have this moment of exchange. As a result, I have had the most wonderful blessing as this moment with you is to be in arenas. We refer to those moments of circumstance within our earth walk that allows for us to have the ability to impart wisdom that is channeled in from this divine creator source. I have been most fortunate to begin the embrace of how spirit works within our lives. If we don't physically go searching for it and something comes to pass with an invitation, with a moment, with a circumstance that you are a vital part of it, the response from the spirit's intervention is to be of agreement. It is sent to you by the gifting of divine source, so you have to be with a response that is of affirmation. So yes, yes, yes. And allow that with that yes, it unfolds so many wonderful moments that takes you into arenas, which is just a ceremonial way of referencing the moments of circumstance within your earth walk. As a result, I have, since the time of teachings in Jackson Hole in December, have gone into various parts of the world to continue the sharing. I have been in Spain sharing the beauty of spirit as a result of the Jackson Hole gathering, as a result of meeting various people who are all gifted with wisdom. That sharing in Spain led me direct into, with nothing more than a flight change in my home state of Arizona, to transfer into another flight into Guatemala.
Yes,
A
please
time
share about Guatemala.
in
Yes.
which this time of gathering was to bring ceremonial entities globally and to have a time of narrative, a time of ceremonial oratory of what was coming in through and for them that had to be shared. As a result, that led me right back into Sedona, which opened the doors to visitations for one whole month here in the sacred red rocks of Tibetan monks that came in from southern India and teaching daily with the the wisdom that they have been imbued with, which led into another moment spontaneously and ceremonially of elders from indigenous lands that were called to Sedona to also to continue the conversation of spirit imbuement, spirit channeling, which then led right into a time of the 13 indigenous international grandmothers, whom half of them have crossed over, but their legacy is still there. The remaining 6 and the few that were able to come into the sacred Red Rocks shared the passion, the compassion, the empathy, the love, unconditional, which
Some of them were over
continues to
100 years old,
revive.
correct? Some of them were
Excuse
over
me?
100.
What is that, Teresa?
That some of those women were over 100 years old, correct?
No, only one had turned 100 years old on this visit. So
Wow.
the intention here was to honor a revered medicine walker in the feminine form that has seen so much. So families came together, ceremonial leaders came together to bring homage, to bring blessing, and in return be blessed by her presence. So that has led us right to this moment where we're having this beautiful cyberspace moment where that energy is going through the pixels and to you to say that you have everything within you, the giftings of divine source, to take and nurture that into that next level, which excites me even more that within the channelings that have come through, any moment, any individual, any circumstance, any gathering that we are called to be a part of, even if it is that we're just a space holder or a witness, it is a very powerful ability to hold within the ceremony. You are gifted with the energy of your ceremonial bloodline lineages. So therefore, you are meant to be parts of ceremony that is called. And it can be as beautiful and as fantastic and animated as this next event that's coming in of the butterfly gathering. The symbolism of that butterfly, that ability of transformation, the brilliance of iridescent colors, that ability to fly, to be in a point where you are amongst all that is there, and your mere presence energetically, visually, has an impact on everything. So my heart now is so joyous that I am in the receivership of every element that is gifted to us as two-legged forms, the human form, the body bundle, the medicine bundle, the body temple. All of those are terms in which it's referencing you, the I. So therefore, we've got so much to share. And in that sharing, let it be led by heart. The heart has that ability to create the pace in which we are meant to contribute to the earth walk. There are moments where you need to be quiet. There are moments where you need to come into a calm of self, a re-embrace of your being, to just be in silent witness. And that pause allows for you to bring in a view of what is in store to come, which then revitalizes that message, that medicine, that moment, that information that you have accrued. You may not be conscious of it, but in that moment of silent ceremonial pause, it begins to register with clarity and illumination. Thus, as you come into a moment of oratory, a moment of presence, a moment of physically being in the arena, you will be felt and your messages will come forth in such a profound and prolific way. Watch all that is around you, for they are the teachers. The beauty of this June time is the essence and the symbolic nature of that butterfly, to be able to be in illumination, clarity, watch, affirming your times to be in quiet cocooning to the moment that you emerge into iridescent, fantastic morphing of a new you, a trueness within you that is constantly on the rise and evolving at every moment. And this is going to lead us into journeys that you will never thought that you could be a part of. And you need to be able to be in the presence energetically, vibrationally, visually, one of them, all of them, and feel that exchange in whatever tool that is being used is going to enrich you to that next level. Oh my gosh, we're now at a point to learn more.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Ukwala, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much for joining us in Jackson. Everyone in Jackson is going to so enjoy your prayer. When you are around Ukwala, you feel like a child discovering joy and friendship and just unity. It is beautiful. So thank you so much for your time today. Thank you for joining us in Jackson. And everybody who's watching, Ukwala will be doing a fire ceremony the evening after the event at Spring Creek Ranch. And there's more information about that on our website. And he's also joining us in August of 2026 in our trip to Upper Mustang in Nepal. And we are just so blessed to be in partnership with you. Thank you so much. And I look forward to seeing you in Jackson.
Many blessings. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Everyone, he's wow. You don't want to interrupt him when he's talking because it's like he's bringing the spirit world into our world, and it's a beautiful, beautiful experience. And if you have never been in his presence when speaking, I encourage you to sign up for anything that Ukwala has going on because he's just so, he's like a joy. He's like walking joy. And the theme of this update was the pause. And the reason we talked about the pause is many things, because I certainly needed to pause after all of my social media got hacked. But I was watching our next guest, Cat Caldwell Meyers, podcast, and she spoke about the pause. And she loves horses. She rides horses. She brought a horse with a monarch butterfly wings to the last butterfly event. She is magical, and her podcast is magical. And I want her to talk about what she does and have her share the mystery and the beauty of taking that pause and what happens thereafter. And with that, welcome to our update, Kat.
Oh my gosh, Teresa, I'm so happy to be here. And Ukwala, I don't know if you're still there, but
yeah, he's here. He's watching you.
I can vouch for Ukwala's energy, you guys. I was at the December retreat, and just being in your presence, my friend, is a healing. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And I can't wait to see you again in person, in the flesh, for ceremony this month. The power of the pause, I think, is the podcast episode that you're referring to. And, you know, I also talk about this in my book here by the same name, The Adventure Paradox, and the 4 questions of the shaman to diagnose soul sickness. And one of those questions is, when did you last sit in silence? And I feel like we live in a world where silence is sort of shunned. Like, you can't be quiet, you can't have a pause. And then there's this really strong movement of, but you must. But this is maybe all there is. Like, we need space between all the noise, all the things, because you know what? Otherwise, we cannot really hear. We cannot hear our own heartbeat. So for me, I have always been a horse person. I have here before me a clock with a horse on it. If you are a Breyer horse collector, you might know that in 1950, these model horses came into existence as part of a clock. Originally, it was for a clock and for the telling of time. And so what this brings me into is like, what time are we living in? You know, Yukala was talking about the grandmothers. My great granny lived to be 99. 1922 was the year where we suddenly had more cars than horses on most major cities around the world. What was lost when we moved the horses out of our hearts, out of our homes, out of our cities? I want you to just pause and think about that for a second. Where did they go? Those hoofbeats. And maybe just tap into your own heartbeat, because this might be an invitation for you to pause and look into what really lights you up. Like, why are you really here? And let's look at the butterfly. Huge fan of the butterfly metaphor, the transformation. And the cocoon, I would say, is the pause. So are you in that cocoon? You're not yet a butterfly. You're not yet flying. You don't know what you are to be. You are in this sacred pause. You know, I'm running a summit right now with 21 guests, and one of them referred to this as the sacred pivot. So if you don't take this pause, and I know Teresa just went through, for example, things not going right on social media, right? Sometimes it doesn't go the way we thought it was going to go. But what if it's this or better? What if we couldn't even think about that if we didn't have this sacred pause? Like, what else could it be? The last thing I think I want to share here, because it's coming through right now. I have no idea how long you want me to talk, Teresa, but you know, I can talk forever. My podcasts are mini-sodes, just, 10, 15 minutes, or I have had interviews with guests that have gone deep into those hours.
I am really enjoying this, so you keep going, because I'm enjoying the pause and the cocoon. And you're right, everything is better. You know, all challenges are gifts. We just have to find the pearl, the gift within. We just don't know what that is when we're in crisis. But the pause is going to show you the way. So keep going. I'm loving this. I'll stop you in a few minutes. We're going to go, but you go, girl.
You let me know, baby. Give me the yellow light, green light, red light. Okay, here we go. So we have a television set in our house, and to turn the thing on, you need a remote control. Well, guess what? Almost a month ago, said remote control was misplaced. Do you want to know how to create a very long pause? Lose the remote control. Lose the remote control. So, like, where are you on autopilot? And sometimes you don't even know until something stops working, until the pause is essentially forced. This could be in your health. It could be in your work. It could be in your personal life. Whatever it is, maybe that pause, again, is an invitation to something better. You know, the amazing things that have happened for our kids, for our family, not having family movie night. And don't get me wrong, I'm all for family movie night. There is a time and a place for family movie night. But to have that pause, to really get us outside in nature like we would have 100 years ago, like our grandmothers did, our ancestors. Like, this is so beautiful that we can connect this way. And also, what are we missing? You can be in Yukwala's space. Like, we can be in this space right now. But I promise you, the model, the statue, this is not the same as the real thing. So I think, and I know you're going to take me off in a minute, but I just want to do this huge shout out, hats off, celebration invitation to come join us for the butterfly event, because the reality is this is all there is. Who knows when we will have another June 28th, 2025. Guess what?
Exactly.
There was only the one.
Exactly. That was beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us. What a special day. Guys, the butterfly event is already magical. In my mind, it's already happening, and we are blessed, and whatever happens, happens. But the people that are going are so magical and so loving that anyone who even intends to attend is going to be blessed, because that's how we roll. So, Kat, thank you for joining us. Thank you for being butterfly pony driver. You're bringing the pony.
Bringing it back.
She's bringing joy back to the event. So thank you so much for joining us, and I look forward to seeing you at the butterfly event. Okay, let's see. Yes. Okay, and with that, I just want to say that I feel eternally blessed. I know it's incredible that I'm saying that, given the week I had last week, but I do. I feel really blessed and loved and protected and guided, and I'm just so excited about what we are creating in Jackson. So I encourage you all to join us. The website is butterflymarch.com. You can either join in person or virtually, and the planet needs your love, but the person who needs your love the most is you. So love yourself enough to give yourself permission to be yourself. And with that, thank you for joining us. And I look forward to seeing you on June 28th. Love you. Bye.